I am also the co-founder of magazine Jukebox. You can see in the background here if you're watching. And we are excited. And I say we as in me and my team. We're excited to get this thing rolling. Many of you don't know this, but we went fully remote, and we had to. Unfortunately, we had some office issues with water leaks and HVAC issues. So it was just time, and now my team is like super excited because they've always pushed me to go remote work, and so we're gonna give it a shot. So we'll see how long this lasts, but for now, we got to keep the show going, right? The show goes on, as they say. But I am excited. So a lot of things are going to stay the same. Some things are going to change. One of the things that's going to change is that you're going to see shows with me and only, and then you're going to see shows where we have people in, but not going to be meeting in person for a little while. Maybe we'll do some live shows or something like that. That'd be cool. But right now, that's not going to happen. We're going to continue with LinkedIn Moment, and then we're going to throw in some other fun stuff. So what I like to do right now is I like to get things rolling on LinkedIn Moment. So thank you for joining us on the show, and let's dive in. So LinkedIn Moment is when we share positive posts on LinkedIn or about posts on LinkedIn. How about that? And what I always tell everybody is that if you don't want to be mentioned, then do me a favor, disconnect from me, or just don't post anything positive, because I'm only going to share positive stuff. Okay, so we're going to get started over at Norfolk Airport Authority, ORF. I think I mentioned them before, and that's probably because I'm trying to get Magazine Jukebox in there. It kind of makes sense, right? Digital entertainment for commercial spaces while people are waiting. What do you do at an airport? You wait. Okay, so it says air service update. Delta Airlines, I like Delta, resumes daily nonstop flights to Minneapolis. What up, Minneapolis? To St. Paul, and starting June 7th of 2024. It's cool. It's cool that they have to announce it this far out, though. It's like, why don't you just make it happen? Probably a lot of things involved to make that happen. Okay. Next one is my buddy David Birch over in Endurance Zone. Incredible guy, former professional rugby player. He is the co-founder and CEO of Endurance Zone, a digital like marketplace platform. It's really cool. Anyways, he put out there, he's doing this really cool podcast, and he's putting out this video. He's traveling, I think, a lot right now. And but it says best laid plans to drive to the top of the Pikes Peak, enjoy the view, talking about mental fatigue and how physical activity can give you a healthier mind. Can't agree more. Those who know me or don't know me, I've dropped about 70 pounds in the last year. It's pretty exciting, but I've definitely tapered off from the gym. I got to get back involved. So thanks for the motivation there, David, and great post. Okay, so back to what's important here, which is the show. So, hey, again, welcome to the show, Biztainment Weekly. If you want to be on the show, make sure you go to our website, www.biztainmentweekly.com, and sign up right there. There's a Calendly on there. You can jump right on and get going. But this show, what we're going to end up doing now is we're going to end up my marketing team's going to put together questions. Some of them are trending questions. Some of them are just business questions. And some of them are personal questions. I don't really know what they are. We're trying to do this in a one take, so there's no editing involved in like putting clips of me. But you never know. I really like marketing and how they edit stuff, so you never know how that's going to turn out. But anyways, let's dive right in. Let's get to going. This falls under the personal category, and it says, "What is it like to own a business?" Stressful. Yeah, we'll just say it's stressful. How about that? Just kidding. So owning a business is stressful, but it does afford you a lot of opportunity. And but you have to have the right mindset to own a business. You really do, because owning a business is not easy. There's a lot of little things, a lot of stress involved. Like I keep saying, like that may be an ongoing theme here with business ownership. But you also have to be someone who can figure things out. I remember years ago, I worked for a company called Farm Bureau Insurance, and I was complaining about their computer system and how dated it is. And it was funny because when we were talking about it, we were talking about, or I was complaining about, I was like, man, what is this from? Like World War II era? Did they even have computers then? Well, anyways, the vice president or the president, I think, He comes in, he hears about me griping about it, and I'm a new agent. I don't even have permission to gripe. And he comes in and he does this power move and he sits right in front of me, like sits on my desk in front of me, and he crosses his arms and he says, hey, look, I've been hearing some people complaining about our computer system. If it's not for you, it's not for you. So you could just go ahead and resign. And I said, I was like, okay, I see what you're throwing down here, Mister. I'm gonna throw in a power move here. So that's what he did. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, it's like you've got to be resourceful. You've got to figure things out, and sometimes you have antiquated systems that you just have to work with, and you get through it. You build, owning a business also has a lot of awards or rewards, and meaning like you can gain autonomy. How about I say that right? You can gain some autonomy with your schedule and meaning like you can gain time during the day with your family or friends. But that's not to be excused from the work that you have to put in, meaning like you may take a couple hours out to go have lunch with friends and family. Sure, you can do that, but you better have a plan to put those 2 3 hours back into play. Owning a business, it's that this saying is owning a business is the only entity out there that it's not even an entity, but it's the only thing out there that you work 80 hours just so you don't have to work 40 hours. It's kind of funny, but it's such a true statement. Okay, next question. How do you maintain work-life balance? Well, being an entrepreneur or business owner, it's really all about it being a part of your life. It's not just a job per se, but it is your lifestyle. And so you buy into it by putting time in. So, a lot of times my wife and I, we will be done with the day. Kids are in bed. It's like 9 o'clock at night. And there we are busting open our laptops, getting some work done, getting emails done, getting things sent out for a couple hours. So that way we could do it uninterrupted without the children because we have 3 kids. I got a 7, 5, and a 2-year old. So pretty crazy. So you just got to find the balance and have a good support system. Super important. But you do you, right? Like what works for you may not work for others. So you got to figure out what it works for. You just got to figure out what works best for you. Okay, next question is what are my business goals? My business goal has always been kind of the same, which is, I want to see people succeed. I want them to be comfortable in their jobs and their careers. I want them to feel safe. I want them to have fun. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy it. I want to feel safe. All those things that I want for them, and I want to do it in abundance. And so, so my goal is to create good jobs and create good goal, pathways for my employees to not only do well and thrive with us, but maybe when company comes to a sell or an acquisition that they can thrive outside of that. So yeah, so my goal is for everybody to be successful. What was it like to start Magazine Jukebox? Okay, so first of all, if you don't know about Magazine Jukebox, go over to magazinejukebox.com. Check it out. If you own a business and you have a waiting area or you have guests that come in and have lounge or leisure time, or maybe they have forced waiting time like doctor's office, dental office, or leisure would be a resort or maybe a car dealership. Could be leisure if you're buying a car. Who knows? But it's designed to give entertainment that you normally wouldn't have access to, right there on your phone or your iPad. And it's catching people in that waiting space instead of having physical, outmoded magazines that are always outdated, crunched up, germified. I'm not even sure that's a word, but germs on it. Now you can have the privacy and comfort of your own phone scan and enjoy a digital magazine cover to cover. And these magazines are typically behind firewalls or paywalls, and so you can't just normally access them. But consumers, your guests do. So we geofence the location to where that business gets that QR code. They pick their magazines and games and trivia, and that is exclusive to them. If someone took that QR code and took it home, it would not work. So it's pretty cool. And it's not an app. That's the big thing. You don't have to download an app in order to use it. So a lot of consumers really enjoy it. In fact, we just hit a milestone. For over 40,000 users have used the platform to date, which is super exciting. Okay. Next question. This is more business industry specific. But what are some current struggles for startups? great question. Struggles for startups right now and into the foreseeable future is going to be capital. It always has been, but right now it's going to be that much more difficult. VCs are looking for exits. They're looking for companies that are close to exits, not taking on a big risk on the startup side. Um, you know, getting capital is much more expensive, um, and so that's really, really tough. And so, angel investors and VCs are less likely to invest. So you got to be careful. If you could bootstrap a lot of it, is important. Check out this book in my corner if you haven't read this, over by Patrick Bet David. It says Your Next Five Moves. Great book, for you startups. Definitely check that out. I think I've given away a couple of those. I'm just waiting for Mr. David to reach out to me anytime now. Waiting on you. Okay. Next question. As a startup founder, how can you combat some of those struggles? Transparency, communication, advisors, um, board members. Speaking of board members, huge, exciting announcement coming from Magazine Jukebox on a new board member. And but yeah, so the big one there is transparency. Just be open, communicate. You're not the only person who's been through this. You're not the only person going through it. There are other people that are going through it, and maybe you can learn from them. There's this old wise saying of a smart man learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So I encourage you to be wise. Okay, the next question is, what's the difference between a founder and a business owner? Man, I love this question. I could probably spend 30 minutes on this, but I'm going to be really quick. Business ownership and entrepreneurship are two different things. Now, there's a lot of synergy between the two. There's a lot of, a lot of it, you know, aligns with one another. But the biggest difference between being an entrepreneur, and they said founder, but being an entrepreneur, and a business owner, is the tolerance of financial risk. So Lauren and I, my wife and I, we make this argument all the time, or not argument, but the statement all the time. If we have $100 in our bank, I would take $100 and go gamble it to make 1,000. Lauren would save the $100 to make sure that we have bread on the table. That's the difference, I think, between a business owner and an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is willing to risk it all, while a business owner is trying not to risk it all, and they're being very conservative and calculated in their risks. I'm not saying entrepreneurs aren't calculating the risk, but they're willing to take a more substantial risk than just, let's say, buying a franchise per se. So there is a difference, but they do align in many ways. You're both taking on financial risk, without a doubt. You're both taking on staff potentially, no doubt there. And you're both ultimately, growing a business. But also, entrepreneurs typically look for exits, while business owners look for sunsets. And what I mean by that is, a entrepreneur is going to be looking to exit probably sooner, 5, 7 years, maybe 10 years, while a business owner may buy into something and make that a lifelong journey. So they're looking for 20 years, 30 years, and then sell it or retire. So a little bit of a difference there. Okay. Next question, or last question, is why is waiting $1 billion problem? Referencing a Starbucks article recently in the last couple of weeks. So the waiting, why is this $1 billion problem? Is I think a lot has to do with, we have to go back in time. Back in time before COVID, especially, it was all about the customers first. The customer's right. The customer, we love the customer. Pertain everything to the customer. And I think we lost that. I think where we lost that is that COVID started putting this power swing into employees' hands, which I'm not saying a lot of this is wrong. I'm just saying that, employees need to also understand that if you lose the customer doesn't come first to both the owner, the entrepreneur, and the employees. If the customer doesn't come first, the customer walks. If the customer walks, the company doesn't make money. The company doesn't make money, it can't pay its employees. That's how it works. So when I look at, from previous to COVID, or pre-COVID, post-COVID, I think that we've lost our way there. I think it's coming back, and I hope it's coming back. I know with Magazine Jukebox especially that it's definitely coming, like it's always been there. Like we've never lost our sight of that. Um, but I think that it's important that we put a lot of emphasis on the customer, making sure that they're happy. One of the things that Amazon always did right, especially from the get go, was their return policy. Basically no questions asked. Like, you want to return it, fine. Now, if you're a habitual return person, then yeah, then some flags will pop up as they should. Like they're not there to give you a rental. They're wanting you to buy products, so they're gonna be careful on that. But if you need to return a product legitimately because of whatever the reason is, maybe you don't like it, maybe it's not what you wanted, or whatever it is, fine, return it. That's what you would do at a store, and that's how it got everybody to start converting over to buying online. Now look at Amazon now. It's insane. Funny story about Jeff Bezos. I read this article, and he said the question was, "What was the hardest thing that you had to do when you're starting Amazon?" And he said, "I had to go explain people what the internet was." Just think about that for a second. Like, totally blow blow your mind when you think about that. Like, he had to explain the internet. I feel like Amazon is just coming around. Well, anyways, all right. Well, look, show's been really cool. I want to share something really cool. So I'm wearing my Los Angeles Dodgers hat. If you don't know, I'm from the Hollywood, area right there where the Dodger Stadium is. And one of the things that I do for fun is I collect cards. I don't talk about this a whole lot, but I'm going to start talking about it more because I think it's a fun hobby. It's something definitely cool. There's card ripping and finding cards, old cards, new cards. And my son's getting into it, so that makes it that much more fun. But look, check this out. So I have a couple of cards here. If you can see on the screen, I'm going to put them up here that I found. So I have the Record Breaker 1990 Topps. And in light of the Rangers playing in the World Series right now, it's Nolan Ryan. So that was super cool to see that. I got another one on the flip side, which is no hitter. And then in light of my Dodgers, I found this card, which is Darryl Strawberry. If you don't know who he is, he's pretty incredible and definitely had his bouts with drug addiction, but seems that he made it through that. But what an incredible player. One of the stats that I read on him was like he had a 530 something batting average. It's insane. But anyways, this is his Dodger Stadium card, which is his rookie card. Unfortunately, the market flooded with those type cards, so it's not worth. It's like worth like $1.50. Okay, anyways, that was just something fun I thought I would share. It's like a hustle of a hustle of a hustle. Anyways, hey guys, look, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Definitely a one take, and I think we did pretty good. So stay tuned for more. If you want to be on the show, don't forget, visit Biztainment Weekly. Make sure you like and follow and share us. Share us with the world. Don't keep us in. And of course, go check out Magazine Jukebox to all you business owners. If you have your clients waiting in any capacity, offer them something cool, right? Just merely offering them something says a lot about you and your company, and it's really cheap. All right. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Go Diamondbacks.